Chiefs kingdom, you won't believe what happened in Super Bowl 59. The team stepped onto the field ready to make history, but they walked away with a result no one expected. And if anyone still believed the theory that the NFL favored Kansas City, this game was a brutal wake-up call. Patrick Mahomes had a game to forget. The officiating was controversial, and now the front office has already started making moves to turn things around. But does this first move hint at a future without one of the team's biggest stars? Stay tuned. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. Don't forget to like the video, and let's get into it. So it looks like the theory that the NFL was somehow scripted to have the Chiefs win again just got completely thrown out the window after Super Bowl 59. The Kansas City Chiefs took the field dreaming of making history, becoming the first team to win 3 straight Super Bowls, but they left with a crushing 40-22 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. And let's be honest, no one saw this blowout coming. It was one of Patrick Mahomes' worst games, and the Eagles dominated from start to finish. Now, with the season officially over, the Chiefs have to face reality. The offense needs serious changes if they want to compete again next year. The offensive line needs reinforcements. Key players are hitting free agency, and the AFC competition is only getting tougher. GM Brett Veach has a lot of work to do. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. And then there's the officiating. The narrative that the referees were somehow helping Kansas City was proven completely false during this game. Throughout the season, many accused the league of favoring the Chiefs, claiming the refs were always on their side. But in this Super Bowl, Mahomes and company felt the sting of some highly questionable calls or lack of calls. One play in particular stood out in the fourth quarter. Milton Williams forced a fumble on Mahomes, and right after that, Jalen Carter grabbed Mahomes' face mask with both hands, violently throwing him to the ground. The problem, no flag was thrown. Mike Florio of NBC Sports pointed out how Ron Torbert, the head referee, missed the call despite being directly in line with it. According to the NFL rulebook, a play like that must be penalized, even if there's doubt about the severity of the contact. That was just one example of why NFL officiating needs major improvements. Florio argued that the league should implement a real-time review system where an officiating team member could assist on-field refs using broadcast footage. Sounds like an obvious fix, right? At the end of the day, though, that missed call didn't change the game's outcome. The Eagles won because they were the superior team. Now, the Chiefs have a long road ahead if they want to get back on top. One thing is clear. The idea that the league wanted Kansas City to win was completely shut down national television. What's next for the Chiefs? What did you think of this game? Was it just an off night for the Chiefs, or is this a sign that the team needs urgent changes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And speaking of changes, Kansas City has already started reshaping the roster, bringing in a new player who could signal a major shift for the team's future. The season ended painfully for the Kansas City Chiefs, and the franchise wasted no time making moves for 2025. After the devastating 40-22 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 59, the Chiefs quickly added a new player to their roster, tight end Anthony Firkser, who was signed to the practice squad. At first glance, this might not seem like a major move, but with Travis Kelce entering the final stretch of his career, any addition to the tight end position raises eyebrows. At 35 years old, Kelce is still one of the best in the league, but retirement rumors are gaining momentum. Meanwhile, Kansas City is already preparing for the future. Firkser is no stranger to the NFL since entering the league in 2017. He's played for multiple teams, including the Jets, Titans, Falcons, Patriots, and Lions. Interestingly, he had a brief stint with the Chiefs back in 2017, also on the practice squad. Now he's back for another shot in Kansas City. Throughout his career, Firkser has won 15 receptions for 27 yards and 5 touchdowns. Those are solid numbers for a player who's never been a full-time starter, but can provide depth at the position. Is Kansas City preparing for life after Kelce in the Super Bowl? Kelce had a quiet game, catching only 4 passes for 39 yards. During the regular season, he totaled 823 yards and 3 touchdowns on 97 receptions. Each move alone won't redefine the franchise, but it's clear that the Chiefs are starting to prepare for a future without Kelce. And with the offseason just beginning, this certainly won't be the last offensive addition for Patrick Mahomes. This loss was a massive wake-up call for the Chiefs, and the front office is already making moves. But is this signing just a minor adjustment, or is it a sign of even bigger changes ahead? The offseason has only just begun, and Kansas City has some huge decisions to make. So make sure to subscribe to the channel to stay updated on every move your favorite team makes. What happened in Super Bowl 59 was simply unbelievable. And honestly, it hurts to talk about it. Steve Spagnuolo lost his mind on the sideline Patrick Mahomes played below expectations, and the Philadelphia Eagles simply dominated. Is there still time for one of those miracles that only the Chiefs can pull off, or will this be the most humiliating defeat of the Mahomes era? Let's analyze everything scene by scene and break down what went so wrong. It was a nightmare start for Kansas City. From the opening minutes, it was clear things weren't going well for the Chiefs. The offense looked lost, the defense was getting run over, and the Eagles were playing with blood in their eyes. Before we knew it, Philadelphia had scored 24 unanswered points. Meanwhile, the Chiefs' offense seemed stuck, lacking creativity, and unable to move the chains. Fans watched in shock as the team played passively. Mahomes couldn't find his targets, the offensive line was giving into pressure, and the mistakes just kept piling up. Fumbles, sacks, and even a disastrous interception completely changed the course of the game. The running game didn't help either. Isaiah Pacheco tried to create space, but the Eagles' defense didn't give many openings. With every rush attempt, Philadelphia's linebackers were ready to shut him down. Kansas City needed to react, but what came next only made things worse. Mahomes looked unrecognizable. If there's one thing we rarely see, it's Mahomes looking uncomfortable. But this time, number 15 looked like an ordinary player. In just 2 quarters, Mahomes was sacked 3 times and could barely escape the pocket. When he did manage to throw, his passes were inaccurate, often due to the absurd pressure from the Eagles' defense. The most tragic moment came with a disastrous interception trying to connect on a quick pass to Rashee Rice. Mahomes ended up throwing the ball right into the hands of rookie Cooper DeJean, who returned it for a defensive touchdown. Silence fell over the Chiefs fans in the stadium. It was a brutal blow. The confidence Mahomes had always exuded seemed shaken, and the comparisons began on social media. Many were already asking, was this the worst game of Mahomes' career? While the offense struggled, the defense had no answers either. Jalen Hurts was playing like a true MVP, finding his targets with ease. In the second quarter, Hurts threw a perfect pass to A.J. Brown in the end zone, further increasing the Eagles' lead. The Chiefs' defensive backs looked lost, allowing easy receptions, and it didn't stop there on the 1-yard line. Hurts called a QB sneak and ran for another touchdown, deja vu from Super Bowl 57. So when the Eagles kept running the same play over and over again, it felt like nothing could stop them. Even with defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo trying adjustments, the Chiefs just couldn't get a handle on Philly's explosive offense. But things really hit a breaking point when Spagnuolo had his emotional breakdown. And honestly, if Chiefs Kingdom wasn't already on edge, this moment definitely sent frustration through the roof. It all started with a controversial call on Nick Bolton. He was flagged for a personal foul after taking down Saquon Barkley, and that penalty gave the Eagles an easy 15 yards, adding more pressure to the Chiefs' defense. Spagnuolo, completely furious, immediately raised 2 fingers, signaling that a similar play by the Eagles had gone unpunished. His outrage boiled over, and you could hear him shout an expletive right there on camera. It was a raw moment of frustration, and we all felt it. He buried his face in his hands, visibly devastated. It was a reflection of what all of us were feeling: anger, frustration, disbelief. But if things were bad on the field, they were even worse off it. Chiefs fans on Twitter, now absolutely relentless, tearing into the team. Former players and analysts were speaking out, and Robert Griffin, I even posted, "I've never seen Patrick Mahomes play so poorly." That was just one of many harsh reactions. Some fans were even comparing Mahomes to Tom Brady, but not in a good way. They were saying Mahomes was having his worst Super Bowl moment. Yeah, while a few still believed the Chiefs could rally, many had already accepted that defeat felt inevitable. But here's the thing. If there's one thing we know about Kansas City, it's that this team never gives up. Now, the big question is it really over for the Chiefs, or is there still hope? I mean, think about it. Mahomes has pulled off miracles before. In 2020, the Chiefs were down by 10 points in the fourth quarter against the 49ers, and they still came back to win the Super Bowl. But this time, the hole felt deeper. The offense needed to wake up. The defense needed to step up, and Mahomes had to find his magic again. So what do you think? What did Andy Reid and Mahomes talk about in that locker room? Were they going to come out for the second half with a whole new strategy? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your fellow Chiefs fans. Let's go, Chiefs.